All right, welcome to the Seekers Podcast. Um, where I'm live on location here on the Catherine Creek. We were supposed to be at Ball Knob, but that kind of fell through because of sickness, and then the water was up there, and just seems like every time we try to get over there to do a podcast, something goes wrong. So I come down here on the Catherine here and see where we've had activity locally here at my house around Damascus. I want to welcome everybody to the broadcast. It's the first time that we've tried it live with a phone and everything location. We got our normal guests here. We got Hardcore and Dale and Barry. I want to welcome them all to the broadcast. And I'll start with Hardcore. You got anything you want to say tonight, Hardcore?
Yeah, I've been just snooping around different parts of the mountain, just kind of looking around, trying to get an idea of some new places to snoop around, look, camp. I found a couple places that I think would be really worth us looking into. And I think it's a good area that may have some activity, but there's a lot more room to move around and set up our trucks, and it's definitely in a good area.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
You got anything new happening up in your area, Dale?
I bet the wild strawberries are coming on strong, so probably going to be something soon. And the blackberries.
Yeah.
And a mountain full of them things.
That's a good food source.
Yeah.
Barry, anything going on around your neck of the woods?
Howdy, God bless. Not really. Been pretty quiet up here lately. Last time we was on here, we had that odd green light in the window behind me, but then you saw what I found outside. Other than that,
yeah.
I don't know if the rest of the guys got a chance to look at that picture or not, but
it definitely looked like a good track impressions there. It was right there by your window. That's odd. That kind of makes you think they just might be listening. I don't know why they'd be listening just because we was doing a podcast, but that same thing happened up at Dale's area when we was up there that one time. They come right down. I guess they followed the wires actually we had up there, but they come right to where we was at. That was kind of crazy now.
Well, the real question for me wouldn't be why they're listening, is how do they know?
Yeah.
Mom wants to say hello real quick.
That's
Hey, Mom.
All righty. Hey, how you doing?
A little bit better, I think.
Now, she, a couple of nights ago, said she heard a strange sound like something being drug outside. And I was dead tired of sleep. They could have drug it across the roof, and I wouldn't have heard it. But I went out and looked around, and I couldn't find nothing that would explain a dragging noise.
Huh. Well, where I'm at, about 2 nights ago, they heard several wood knocks and whoops here by the neighbor that's just down the holler here. That's why I come up here hoping to catch them. It's about a half a mile from the highway, actually, though. You might hear the traffic in the background. And below me here's the creek. About 8 miles there, there's nothing from the creek on. I mean, it's just a wilderness back in there. So I figure that's what they're doing. They're staying in that 8 mile square down there and just moving up to the creek here every once in a while. Unfortunately, I ain't got access to it's all private land there on that 8 mile square down in there. Neil, you got any updates on Nick's project and our meet and greet in June? It's June 23rd, 24th, and 25th, and we're tentative going to stay at the Redding campground. That's right, Neil?
Well, the thing about it is, I really would. I mean, that'd be a good place for us to do primitive camping, but if anyone's going to have like a camper that's going to need a generator or something like that, right there where Redding Campground is, we're going to be going directly to the north. So there's campsites going all the way up that mountainside. So if you don't want to go to Redding, there's campsites really
Awesome.
and they're up, and you can take a generator up in there. It's national forest. There's trails up in there. There's a history back behind that area. So I went up there today and did a little bit of footage. Didn't do much because I was by myself, so I didn't really get too far off by myself. But it's a big area. It's pretty. I mean, I'll send you some pictures, Wendell, of some of the views up there, and it's some pretty.
That's an awesome area up in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And all them campsites in the national forest, they're free, right?
That's correct. Yes. But the one at Redding, if it's daytime use, it's $3 a day, and if it's overnight, it's $15 for overnight use. But there's quiet time after, I think it was like 8 or 9, something like that, until 8 in the morning. So generators after a certain time is a no. At least at Redding. Yeah, but if you go across the highway, then you do anything you want to.
And that weekend we're going to try to have it family friendly, so they won't bring their kids and everything. We're going to be oriented to that, as to get the youngsters involved in it, and we'll do short hikes and little stuff like that, but it ain't a full scale investigation. But it's just a meet and greet everybody and have a good time, and it's Bigfoot related. All that weekend stuff will be going on.
Yeah, and also too, on these kids, bring some bicycles. I'm bringing mine. I'm encouraging everybody to bring theirs. There is trails you can ride bikes all around that place, and they're easy trails, so it'll be worth it. Be a good exercise for everybody too.
Awesome. Depending on if we have signal there, we might do a live event there, but usually up in that area we don't. But since it's on the mountain, we might have signal and do like a live show at one of them nights or something. We'll just have to wait till then and check it out.
I want to say, I think most of that mountainside does have signal. I'm pretty sure it does. Pretty sure of that. Much of the pictures I was sending you, video I was sending you later, that was from up there.
Yeah.
So that was definitely from
that should work then.
Yeah, I think so.
Grandson.
All right. Dale's got somebody appearing and reappearing there.
Yeah, he has.
Had his shades on there a while ago.
I got a viewer comment here. It says, talking about family events and stuff like that, what's a good way to get kids involved in anything like that? What's y'all's suggestion?
Well,
all right.
Good question. What happened?
I think one thing is day trips into areas. If nothing else, you're going to see some beautiful country pretty much anywhere you go. You can also look for tracks of any kind like that, because there's several areas that's got a lot of activity. You want it somewhere that's vehicle accessible to a certain extent, to where it's not miles you're hiking or anything like that. One thing is just to watch any of the programs with them. If they're interested in it, they're just wanting to spend time, with you. Find a good program, a Bigfoot documentary. Pick out your favorite investigation team group and just watch with them and have a good time with it. That's smart as the start.
Didn't you all get a chance to watch that Flash of Glory that I put on the Bigfoot Cartel? I'll tell you what, that is a good documentary. That really
No, I hadn't got to watch it yet.
very good.
All right. Yeah, I was going to this evening and it got called away. And then all of a sudden it was time to be live on there. I was like, pretty good though, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we've been sitting around watching magnet fishing on YouTube, and I just happened to look up, and it was like 25 minutes after 8.
I watched that on a Tubi. I've seen it.
Tubi TV, yeah. Yep.
I thought it was all right.
Yep. Down south, here in the
Something else that there's to do up there too is all those hiking trails. There's fishing in there, and it's right on the Mulberry River. So
yeah,
that'd be awesome too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you're into exploring, that's definitely there's boulder fields all over the place up through there. White Rock Mountain's not far away. I mean, there's.
I used to take the scouts up there all the time.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
I used to take the scouts up there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful country.
You cut out there. Did you say you used to take the Boy Scouts up there?
Yeah. We actually hiked that whole Ozark Highland Trail across there. Not all at one time. Started up on the Goat's Head Trail up there.
Wow.
In that area, and that was fun. End up down there at 56.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty country up in there too. That's a long walk up there too.
Yeah. That's a pretty hike. Takes a while, but we ended up we did that.
Wendell, you got some kind of light behind you.
Yeah, I got lights, little flashlights everywhere where I got a fire, but you couldn't see me, so I hung up lights everywhere pointing at me. I afraid one to go dead, and then there'll be another one, so maybe they'll last this whole time.
Well, I didn't want to be like last time when something was peeking around the corner of the building at you for an hour and a half, and I sat here and watched and didn't say a word.
That was a fun night.
Yeah,
Tell you what. Y'all seen that hardcore?
Yeah, it was.
I sat there and watched it for an hour and a half, doing this number around the corner of the building.
Well, Barry pointed that out. Man, all the guns came out. Away we went.
I kicked the dead heel around.
Something else.
Who's that that keeps peeking around the building?
Old Clint was bailing around that house, boy, just to get it with that big old gun of his. And
yeah.
Well, he let out a whoop like a.
I know as soon as you said that.
Light just come on.
I knew as soon as you said that, everybody that was there with us was in front of us. So we're just like, instantly that didn't add up. So if somebody's looking around the building, something's not right.
I wish I'd have said something sooner.
Yeah.
Wendell and Clint actually found a trackway that led down that side of that bluff. What was that? 6 foot strides on that thing?
Yep.
7 foot, something like that.
6 foot, yeah, right. Like about an inch being 6 foot. So,
hey,
it was like, if I remember right, like 17 inch tracks too. So, go ahead, Neil.
I was saying, if you guys got like any glow sticks, bring them. If you come across any, I thought we would try to set up something with some cameras with some glow sticks throughout the night to see if we can get anything interacting with the glow sticks, or maybe toys that make noise, like little taller toys, maybe, or something, or see if we can get some kind of interaction. That's an idea that I had.
Yeah,
too.
I'm all-time flea marketing, so I'll look for any toys, and I'm sure we got some left of the glow sticks in the haunted house, because that's what people buy. They get scared, so we don't allow no lights or anything, so they buy the glow stick, so they got a light. So I'm sure I got a drawer full of them down there somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I think I've got like 5 or 6 of them. So if you grab 3 or 4 of them, we'll throw some cameras on them and see what we can get to interact with them at different locations throughout the whole entire. We can. A bunch of different stuff we can do with it. I think glow sticks would help. That would be something cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. That'd be awesome.
What you were talking about earlier, getting kids or people in general involved. We had a guy, the next county over, man saw it in the newspaper, called me and told me about it. Well, best I can tell, the newspaper put the wrong date for his speaking engagement at the library in the paper. So I looked it up on Facebook. It was a guy that does the YouTube channel In the Shadow of Red Eye or something like that.
Yeah.
Something. Well, anyway, I feel sorry for the guy. This guy's from New Jersey. Came all the way to Bourbon County, Kentucky, and had maybe 10 people at that library today.
Oh, no.
Would you go get me a toothpick?
Now, I don't know, like I said, if it's because they messed up and put
by the microwave.
Wrong date on his appearance on the paper, or is it just that little bit of interest in this area about it? I told Mom, I said, I feel sorry for the guy because, going to a public library, he probably didn't get more than gas money for coming there.
Right.
And have 10 people show up.
Well, we've talked about it before. There's a few of the programs they actually make enough money to do this stuff, but mostly it's out of our own pockets. You got to really be involved and love doing this stuff to do it, because I have yet to come up to where I'm in the black. I'm always in the red. I might make a little money here or a little bit there, if I sell a shirt or something like that, or every once in a while, or a sticker, but I ain't never made enough to be in the black. I'm always in red when you get done with an investigation.
Yeah.
I ain't made a dime. I've spent more on books than I'll probably ever make out of it.
Yeah.
I think I've spent more money on recorders that I didn't get programmed.
Yeah. We've been at it, since actually doing the investigation since 2015, and buying a little bit of equipment here and a little bit. It's a learning process, what you need. I like them little videos that you do, Neil. This is like the one when you had the flat and everything, because if somebody's getting into it and they want to look at it, that's a good learning process.
Yeah, I know. Bad luck. That was just a rough day for everybody.
Well, I'm telling you.
You got locked out of your car, Marcus.
Yeah.
No, it was just bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Hey, you're gonna have those just in life. Sometimes it's gonna be a bad day, but just keep on trucking. I would lay it off on Bigfoot did all that to us, but that didn't happen. It's just a throw of the dice. That's what happened.
That was me going into the woods with street tires, is what that was. I knew better.
That's what I should have done when the back window of my truck got shot out. Instead of telling them some a-hole with a BB gun or a pellet gun shot it out, I should have told them Bigfoot did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the insurance would have covered it then.
Yeah, maybe.
It would have been a bear attack.
That light back there was on.
The corner light was on too.
Like my big one's on.
Well, something's moving around outside.
That's interesting again. And now that you said that, I'm here by myself, but Louise is here on my side, but I got something moving around in the woods behind me here. It don't sound to be a Bigfoot. It ain't big enough, but that's odd that something's moving around here and moving around there.
Yep. Well, I ain't saying it's Bigfoot either. That's just 2 out of 3 lights close to the house have come on now.
Huh.
You know, there was a guy on that video the other night that made a statement that really struck with me. He said a lot of people is like, you know, all this data, all this evidence that we've collected, footprints, pictures, you know, all this stuff. He goes, why don't they ever come and ask us about it?
Yeah.
You ever think about that? But the guy said the reason they don't come and ask us about it is because they have a lot better stuff than we got, and they're not telling.
That's it. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Who was he referring to? They?
Huh?
Who was he talking about? Why don't they come to us?
Government.
The government, or
and the officials, the people that do the test on the hairs and all that other stuff. So that's why they don't ever come to us asking anything.
Oh, okay. I'd probably agree with him on that.
Yeah. They got all the best equipment.
I never thought of it that way before. That kind of really stuck with me.
Yeah, makes sense. Looks like I've always said with the government, they either have to know or they're really bad at their jobs. One of the two. Take your pick.
Yep. They've had all kinds of run-ins with them, and everybody asks, well, where's the body? I believe full-heartedly that they've had at least 3 or 4 bodies that the reports that is, I don't know what they did with them or why they covered it up, but that they've took them. So
all I got to say is, for anyone watching this, I have one, and I'm interested in a professional looking at what I have. So contact us. I want to show these to someone who knows what they're talking about, that knows their stuff, not someone that just studied it in high school. I want someone that's educated. Talk to me.
Somebody like Jeff Miller.
I prefer somebody with some kind of degree. But you never know. I would like them to take a look at what I have.
Definitely. And that's why always going back to Ball Knob to do it there is that track, that 3-toed track that was down there. It's one thing to find 1 track or 2 track. We searched around, went to where the edge of the woods was, and found the right and left as it went out into the field there. That was what was amazing. And like I said, that's the first 3-toed track I ever seen. It's except I've seen the ones down at Falk in the there at the Monster Mart that was cast way back when, but as actual track out live, that's the first time I ever seen a 3-toed track.
I've had so many people tell me you don't want to mess with that one. You know.
Yeah, that's same here.
3-toed track.
Huh?
While you're on the 3-toed track, last time I said the Coney Island swamp monster, it's the Honey Island swamp monster.
Honey Island. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honey Island. Okay. Yeah.
Case of 3-toed tracks, not Coney Island.
Yeah. I've heard of that, but I didn't know it was 3-toed track, but I'll check it out now that you said that. I looked at the other one and I was like, well, I couldn't find nothing.
Yeah. Coney Island's an amusement park or hot dog.
Yeah.
I watched some videos about that Honey Island monster, though. That's pretty interesting.
Well, another interesting thing, the gentleman, the original guy back in I think it was the 70s that did all that researched it, He
Yeah.
passed away, and his daughter found a video that he'd never released.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, heard about that.
And the whisper in the wind, or whatever you want to call it, is this video that he never released is probably as good as the Patterson.
Wow.
But he just never. I guess after he caught so much flack for the first one he released, he just kept it to himself after that.
Yeah.
Right.
Guess I blame him.
Yeah.
Wendell,
Still
you
got
good?
stuff. Yeah, I still got stuff moving around back here off the.
You got any big lights there with you, Wendell?
Not really. I got the one here.
Noises got Wendell looking over his shoulder, and Mom keeps looking over my shoulder, making me nervous.
Oh, there's something moving around back here.
I got some kind of little creature moving around behind me too. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not like
I hear Bo Stevens stirring in the background. If he starts raising Cain, I'll know to get up and go outside and look.
No,
Right. Yeah.
no.
Where are you at, Neil?
I'm in my camper.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's one of them deals where I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to put in here and take out. I got so much crap.
Come on, go.
Just dogs all up the creek here at the houses that just started barking. That's weird.
Go. Grandkids both trying to get me.
Did y'all see the Aurora Borealis or whatever during last week?
No.
When they had the magnetic storm, it lit up the sky around here. It was about 10 o'clock at night. It was just pink everywhere outside looking back to the north.
Wow.
Huh.
No, I didn't know.
It was like-
I didn't know anything about it.
Straight through.
It was on a Wednesday last week, so that was pretty neat. Normally, this far south, you don't ever get no northern lights or whatever, but you could sure see it then. It was the same time that there was a meteor shower going on the next night. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but
Well, that's why we missed it. Wednesday night through Saturday was when Mom was in the hospital.
oh,
Come on, son, don't do that.
yeah, I remember you was posted about that. She's doing better, I guess. She's at home now.
Yeah, she got out Saturday afternoon. She's been home ever since. It's been a week yesterday. She just did her last outpatient infusion yesterday.
All right.
Hopefully that cleared it up, took care of that.
Sound like a Yui coming over.
Huh. I want to remind anybody, if anybody's got any questions or comments or whatever, they're welcome to put them in the comments down here below. Just send them in. I just heard something metal clank down there. There ain't supposed to be no metal that I know of down there, but you never know. But it sounded like metal clanked.
Not chains, is it?
No, I wouldn't think, but it was just,
If it's changed, it's that one from Mountain Monsters. What was it that had the chains with all the dog leashes on it? And supposedly,
Oh, yeah.
Bigfoot led the wolves around.
yeah. Tiger Valley,
That show can be entertaining, but sometimes they just go so far off the rails. It ain't funny.
Yeah. And then about the time like that one, they get up to a certain point, and then the next season they're never back there again. You're like, what? They go to something different. It started off real good the first season and everything, and there was actual, I think, really authentic Bigfoot hunting and investigating, and then they got off into somebody writing their scripts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is entertaining.
I met everybody but Hunter at CryptidCon. That was after he got sick. They're a nice group of guys. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better bunch of fellas. At least a couple of them actually know what they're doing, one end of the woods from the other. But like you said, when you get involved with Hollywood, somebody else has got their fingers in the pot.
Yep.
Yeah. I stopped watching it when Buck started being psychically controlled by the Bigfoot out in the woods. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I kept watching it until they put it on Discovery Plus or whatever, where you couldn't get it on regular TV. I like it, but I ain't gonna pay to watch it.
Right. Nothing extra. I've liked the Expedition Bigfoot. They're pretty good. I'm just hoping that they don't get off to where they're scripted anymore.
Only thing that aggravates me about them is just like you talked about, they'll get a wild hare and take off to some other area. They were here in eastern Kentucky, and some guy at a gas station claimed he was in the Air Force or whatever. He's like, I was stationed in Washington State. They have a lot of Bigfoot activity up there. And the one lead guy acted like he'd never heard of Washington State before, or Bigfoot. So, zip, there they went to Washington State, just dropped everything they was doing and took off on it. Well, you're a Bigfoot investigator and you didn't know Washington State's a hotbed? I mean,
yeah.
Some guy in the gas station parking lot has to tell you that.
Yeah, if you're already in a good area, why go somewhere else? So you till they leave that area, or you just exhaust all leads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're ever going to run out of leads in some of these areas we're going to, man.
No,
they're pretty active.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of the opposite. I wonder if the well ain't kind of going dry around my place here. But every time I think that, something will happen to prove me wrong. So,
right.
Well, I just wish there's somewhere we could get back in that cabin area. My goodness.
Yeah, I wish we could get it.
That's got to be a hotbed. Got to be.
Even if we can't get back in there with Mike and his stepmother owns all that property. If we can't get in there, we need to go to the next holler over and check it, because that's back in the national forest. So, and plan something there this fall.
Yeah, I'd like to schedule something for up in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that one footprint. It wasn't a great cast because there's a lot of water out there, but we got that one cast is about 19 inches long up there, so there's some activity up in there.
I don't know about you all, but it's about that time of year. Everything's getting so green here. There's places you about got to have a machete to hack your way in and out.
Yes.
And
I was actually up on the mountain with a machete with Hudson the other day, trying to hack some trails.
Yeah. I was going to say
that's why it is here.
30 foot from you, and you'd never know it.
Yeah. They can't see anything that's coming. That's the bad.
That's what I was worried about where I was snooping around today. Is the green is so thick and it's already kind of iffy to start with. That just doubles it.
Makes it work. I've had several people that commented, why don't we go out during the summer? They do all their scoutings and everything during the summer, and that's when they get their best activity and everything. Well, you might get noise, or you might see the trees move, or you might actually if you going along the creek or somewhere where there's tracks, get tracks. But you ain't gonna get no visual sighting unless it's just right on you, danger close. So that's one of the reasons we don't. And I ain't a fan of ticks and none of that stuff either. So, but to
Well, I
each
can walk
person his
past-
own.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I just said to each person to their own. So
I would up in Hardcore's area. I don't know if I'd want to be up there in the summertime. But, you know,
yeah,
every time we've been up there, something's been shadowing us. You know, and it's like at least
sure
you got
have.
something
Yeah.
coming at you. You know.
Wendell mentioned ticks. I swear I could walk past an artificial potted plant and get a tick off of it.
Yeah. It used to not bother me until I had tick fever, and now I'm more scared of them than snakes most times.
I'm all right with snakes as long as I see them before they see me.
Yep.
I don't like surprises when it comes to snakes.
Are you staying overnight, Wendell, or just staying there for the podcast?
I'm just gonna stay here probably about 11 and then head home, which ain't very far, about a mile probably to the house. So just see what I hear. And so that neighbor where I heard that dog bark up here, that's the one that told me about the wood knocks and the calls he heard a couple of nights ago. So if I hear anything, I'm gonna go back and tell him. And he said he might go with me down in there and check it out. Or I have one of the boys that come over to Dale's place 3 or 4 years ago said he'd go down here with me if I hear anything else or any activity. So it was just kind of one of them deals. I just waiting to see what goes on, what I hear.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a run up in there with you if you need some company.
All right.
Now, one thing I did hear the other day, and I was mowing the yard and had headphones on too, on top of the lawnmower. I heard a big tree go down out behind the barn. I was mowing the top of the bank, and I heard a crash. Couldn't have been anything but a good-sized tree going over. Because, like I said, I heard it over a lawnmower and headphones too. I looked around,
Wow.
I couldn't see where it went down at, but I heard it.
Well, up there on the mountain, you know, I looked up there the other day, Wendell, and there's 3 of them. And boy, I tell you what, it's just hard to get up there now.
I imagine they growed up there.
Yeah, we were up there trying to cut a way through something, go around on the east end of it a little bit, and it was just the sawbriars are so thick you can't hardly get through there.
Huh. I see that light you was talking about now. That ain't one of the. That's actually the moon.
Oh,
Okay.
I was trying to figure out what was above my head there. And I know I had lights hung up, but they shouldn't be there. So I was looking. That's the moon that's come up.
I thought that might be what it was, but I wasn't for sure. People talk about the lights they see and stuff all the time. I know the guy that was on with us last month asked about the flashing light, like a camera flash or a strobe light. And
Yeah.
I was re-listening to an episode of Sasquatch Chronicles the other night where I fell asleep listening to the new one that kept playing and it was on when I woke up. The guy was on there talking about seeing that, like a strobe light up in the woods or something.
Right. That was Marcus. He probably been on here tonight. I forgot to send him a link though, but yeah, that was there on his property. He's got 239 acres there at Mountain View that he's seen that kind of stuff. and it's private property, so there shouldn't be anybody out there or nothing. But you never know. But so that's why he was wondering what them lights was.
I've seen
They've
that
been-
over in Area 1 by those waterfalls.
Yeah.
I've seen the flashes of lights over there several times. It's pretty close to
Huh.
the water. And the blue orb, me and Nicholas both saw the blue orb. That was the same day that he got the whatever it was, walking up out of the woods and sniffing his recorder and walking off. That was the same day that we seen the orb.
Huh.
The only orb like I've ever seen was on a trail cam, and it was years ago, and I couldn't find the picture now. If I wanted to, probably an old laptop, it's went bad by now. But there was a coyote come up through the field, and this light or orb or whatever it was still shots. I mean, you see picture by picture the coyote run up through the field past the camera, and this light's right behind it and curves and goes out of view. It's like whatever it was chasing the coyote. And then there's another one where the old pond's at in a lot of my videos. You can see it the daytime pictures, right? No kind of light source or nothing there. And I had one where it looks like there's a ball of light right over that old pond, just in midair, just hanging there.
I've only experienced one time orb light or light like that, and that was when I was a teenager, and I had been out hunting, and we got out of there later than what I was wanted to, and got kind of turned around and seen one of them floating through the woods like that. I've yelled out a couple times, but nobody ever answered or nothing, and it just floated on off through the woods. I don't know what it was.
Like I said, I've seen them on trail cam. I've just never seen them in person. Don't know that I want to, but
Right.
Well, in mine and Nick's situation, we were just driving down the road, and it was probably maybe, I don't know, 10 feet off the road. It was about a foot off the ground. It just kind of did like a little blue flamish kind of flickering thing and just was gone. It was weird. It was really weird. But it was blue, definitely blue. And it was just literally right around the corner from where he put his recorder at. That one structure in Area 1 that I always watch real close, it was right over by that. Yeah. It was close to that structure on the road. Really close to that structure on the road. Or by the road, anyway.
Well, you know, that's another thing, kind of like Sasquatch, almost every culture around the globe's got some kind of orb type something about them.
Yeah.
Will-o-wisps, ghost lights, witch lights, whatever you want to call them. Going back hundreds of years, if not thousands.
Right. Yep.
I was listening to something the other night that was quite interesting. There was a linguist on there. He was like a translator or something and there were like half a dozen different languages, and he listened to some of that Sierra sounds, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that really struck me. He said because humans can talk because they have a certain structure in their vocal cords. He said that's a human trait. He said I heard this and I said that's a language. These things are talking. He said they're making sounds that we make and a couple that we can't even make. He goes, but there's got to be human DNA in there somewhere, or they couldn't be talking like that. And I thought, well, that's interesting, you know.
That was probably Scott. I can't think of his last name. He was a Navy cryptologist or whatever it is that studies languages.
Mm-hmm.
That covered Ron Moorhead and the Sierra Sounds. And I've seen interviews with him. Same thing. He's like, it's a language. Plain and simple. That's an actual language. That ain't just grunts or
Mhm.
clicks or howls. There's structure to it. Like you said, you have a complex thorax and voice box and all that to make those noises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one that Wendell got. Yep. Like, boy,
Oh yeah.
that blew my mind. I'll tell you what. That thing was talking.
And in my mind, I'm like, why did we not hear that? Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But after talking to people that actually analyzed it and everything, they said it's below the human hearing, the frequency. The only reason we could hear it is that it went through the camera. That then I could play. When you play it, then you could hear it. But if that was actual just out, that's below our hearing range. It's so deep. And I'm like, I had to take their word at it, but I was like, wow.
So we didn't hear it. I mean,
Yeah,
and that was pretty loud. I thought on that tape, that was
it
amazing.
was. Yeah, because that was within 150 feet, 200 feet out in the woods there. And it could pick us up. The camera could. So whatever that was louder than what we was talking. So we should have been able to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
What did it sound like?
It was mimicking
The yelp.
Marcus. It
Yeah.
was copying Marcus. That was the craziest thing. Wendell said, "You find that chicken, Marcus?" And Marcus says, "Yep." That thing down there in the woods said, "Yep."
Yep.
Oh man, it was wild.
I'll see if I can find it on one of the deals and send it to you, Barry.
I know I've heard
It's on
2 or
our
3
page
times
somewhere, but
whistling that sounded just like a human being whistle. One time it was broad daylight. I
yeah.
was walking down Seamus, and from the tree line, I heard just like somebody calling. I can't whistle. Just like somebody calling a dog whistle. And then there's been a time or two I've heard that really loud, like your buddy in high school that would try to bust your eardrums with a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard something like that 2 or 3
Right.
times.
Oh, you
Only
know
loud.
what? I think it was 2 or 3 times ago when we was up at Hardcore's area. We heard that over in the woods. I was like, man, it sounds like kind of like a little Japanese kids talking over there. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the way it did that night that up there at Neil's actual home place when we heard all the kids down in the holler at 11 o'clock at night and it was 32 degrees. Ain't no kids going to be out in the holler.
I hope not.
That went on for about an hour.
Yeah, about 50 mile-an-hour winds, too, on top of that. Cold.
Yeah.
I think what I want to do is do a video going down into that creek and working up towards certain areas and just kind of look at the creek and to see what we have in that creek and maybe do some footage of that. I'm going to talk to what's his face about Braden about that. See what I can pull together. That would be some good footage.
Yeah, it would.
After you cross that creek and you go up that big long hill all the way up in there, there's definitely something up in there because we heard that thing, that funny sound like an air hammer at the end of it. That was the strangest thing. That area of yours is the only place I've ever heard anything like that before.
The noises of the gearing up and stuff, I think it's mimicking something. And I was at Braden's and we heard that noise. There's a gas well pad not far from that certain area that we heard it at. And I think it's mimicking this gas well pad kicking on. And it sounds just like it. And it sounds, I was up the road, it caught my attention. And I was just like, wait a minute.
That thing was like right over the top of the hill from us when it did that. It's like, whoop. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it's definitely strange.
She was falling asleep, sitting up, listening to us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I had to go tuck her in. I'll tell you what, now she's went to bed. If y'all see that light come on in the window behind me, she don't like me to go outside at night. I can sneak past her. I don't know if I can sneak past both Cena's.
Well, I just found out my mom's watching too. Hi, Mom. I made it. Probably embarrassed her thinking, oh, my
We'll be
child.
getting a reputation as a bunch of mama's boys on here.
I know it.
Yeah.
Quit laughing at me.
I once had a buddy of mine, he's done passed on. He told me one time, he said, don't ever let anybody give you crap about being a mama's boy. There ain't nothing wrong with it. He said, people give you crap about a lot of things in life, but don't take no crap about that.
Oh, no. My mom. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I gotta go. I'm playing with my friends. Okay.
I got another question here. We talked about mimicking and them actual having sounds or language. Do you think they use this mimicking or language or sounds to lure prey or like a food source or people?
I think that in my experience and something that's happened at the farm before, I think it was trying to lure my dog out at one time by making some clicking noises because my dog was going nuts. And there was clicking noises coming from one side of the house, but there was also clicking noises from a second thing just at the bottom of my driveway in the wood line where I couldn't sit, but I could hear it. As soon as I stepped out there with a gun and got loud, it stopped. Like the one on the side of the house stopped, then the one at the bottom of the hill stopped. But I do feel like it was trying to lure my dog out from the front porch. I mean, it was getting pretty close to the house, and after that's when I started using the camera at a different angle on that side. That's been a long time ago. That's been probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago, probably.
Are any of y'all familiar with Julie Wrench?
Mm-mm.
Julie Wrench. She's up in the Carolinas. She lives.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of her stuff.
Yeah, right on the edge of the Uwharrie Forest up there. And she recorded some of the most amazing stuff right there in her backyard. And there was one video that she actually had on there that she recorded, and you could hear something going, Julie. I'm like, boy, now that would freak me out. Something trying to calling my name. I'd like, no, I'm out of here. You know, that was scary.
Well, yeah, I agree with Hardcore. That day that I heard the call a dog whistle in broad daylight coming out of the tree line, Bo Sivas was beside himself. If I hadn't had a lead rope on him, he'd have been gone.
Yeah.
I use the same kind of bull rope you use to lead a bull on that dog. He's 140 pounds. When he gets excited, it's all I can do to hold him.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever was whistling, he wanted to get a hold of it. And I'm like you, I believe that's exactly what it wanted. It wanted the dog. So I took the dog back and put him in the kennel, and I come back. I had something with me, but it wasn't Bo Sivas.
Well, she had one audio that she recorded up her. It sounded like a little girl, and it was saying, "Won't you come play with me? Won't you come play with me?"
And see, to me,
like,
whoa, that ain't Sasquatch right there.
Man,
they're messing with something else, something they probably shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a couple episodes. I'm sure he probably gets tired of me mentioning his show, but Sasquatch Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the one episode.
Love it.
Let's go.
The one episode, Siege at Harmonia or Harnoia or whatever it's called.
Over in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he said the same thing. Yeah. The guy would call his wife's name from like across the field when he was working or when he called home or whatever. And she started hearing what you was talking about, something from the woods. and her name might have been Julie too. I'm not sure. Julie in a big deep voice. And then there was another one. It was a police officer that was investigating this older couple and had a small dog inside their house. And they was having trouble. And most of the officers thought they was just kind of old people. But he said the same thing. They hear something outside. I think the dog's name was Cookie or something like that. And they could hear it outside the house calling the dog by name. Just a real deep voice. That's not.
I think they can mimic any sound they want to mimic. I really do. I think they have that kind of range. Uh-oh, where'd you go, Barry?
Oh,
Barry's gone.
Yep.
That clicking sound you was talking about, Neil, that's what we heard up there at Sillamore the first time me and Marcus went in there. That is the craziest clicking sound I've ever heard. And like I said, I've told y'all up there, my buddy Tony Maddox, it was loud enough. It was all around us. And I called him and said, listen to this. That's the first thing he said, you get out of there now. And y'all fixing to be 8. And I'm like, what?
well, what was bad about it, I kept hearing the dogs flipping out. And I had company and I was kind of ignoring the dogs. And he was literally right up on top of the door and he just kept looking at me like, get out here. And then that's whenever I realized what was going on. And it was scary because it was loud.
Yeah.
Or they're clicking their teeth together loud or what it is, but
that's exactly the sound we heard. And it was from the trees around us. It wasn't on the ground, but it was about halfway up the trees. And we was at the bottom of that holler. So, I mean, it just echoed in there. Well, y'all see now that holler is where you walk down to where you saw that other structure down that road.
Yeah.
Right there by base camp in Sillamore. If you went all the way down, that's where we was turkey hunting while we went in there. But
I'm back.
Back now?
Poor mom had to get up and remind me to take my medicine. I think it was BC taking his medicine, reminded me last time. She had to remind me. If somebody didn't remind me, probably 6 days out of 7, I wouldn't take it.
Right, that's the way I am. They just, every time I go to the doctor, they add me another medicine. I just about ready to throw them all away. I got like 9 pills I take. I'm like, what in the world?
Mom's same way. Every time you go in there, they either add something, subtract something, change something.
Yeah.
I'm on 2, and that's about my limit.
Yeah, I got text saying we got these 2 medicines ready for you, and I'm like, what? I didn't have a clue what they were talking about. I think, what medicines? I got 2 medicines filled for you here, and I'm like, okay. I went up there and they like, here's your eye drops, and here's your tramadol. I'm like, what? I'm not hurting. What's going on here? Oh, this is from the eye doctor. And I thought, well, I ain't even had the surgery yet. Are you kidding me? But I went ahead and got them.
I think the best I ever did is I ran into my doctor at a gas station one afternoon a couple of years ago. Well, it's been longer than that now. He looked at me and said, how you doing? I said, well, I ain't been to see you in about 3 years, so I guess I'm doing all right. He kind of laughed. I don't think he thought it was as funny as I did. But
I seen, I was talking, the Arkansas Bigfoot Hunting Club over at Roberts area, they've been having a lot of activity. That looked pretty cool. And they have one, a three-toed track over there too. I've offered if they have anything over there and need any help, we can go. But so far they hadn't planned nothing. I know Thomas is going to be out. He's going to Alaska. What's that place up there called? Port Lock or something like that.
Chatham or something.
Chatham,
yeah.
Something like that. That's
yeah, he's going up there to say.
I read the book by Larry Bean Baxter. former police officer that went up there on one of the investigations, and he actually investigated the history quite a bit. And a big part of why that place got deserted is the tuna cannery went out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the only business in town. So when it went out, it took a whole
Right.
lot of the population with it.
Well, they started finding
Bigfoot.
body parts out in the lagoon, though. So like, I'm out of here. They took off.
Well, I was going to say
Yeah.
they had the Bigfoot activity and all that, but everybody they over sensationalize it, make it sound like the Sasquatch wiped the whole town out or something.
Yeah.
When in reality,
Right.
there was a few missing people, a few bodies, and the rest of it was the town just dried up.
A lot of it was just scared, and they pulled out. What I would like, I'm not saying I'd like to see the evidence that they had as far as what pointed it to be, and for sure it was Bigfoot. But I mean, Bigfoot might have been around in the area, but unless somebody did something to one or something like that, I don't see him going in and wiping the whole town or anything out like that. So
I think people just left because they got scared.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Any kind of rumor or talk like that can just ignite a group. Everybody panics at the same time.
Mass hysteria.
Especially the
go
small.
wild.
Now, in his book, he documented some activity they had and stuff like that, but it wasn't nothing violent or particularly aggressive. Well, that show that's on now, Alaskan Killer Bigfoot. That whole
Yeah.
show is based around that town and that story.
Yeah,
I couldn't get into the show very much, but
Back to Robert's thing he put on Facebook here the last couple of days. That was one heck of a structure he found out there. Did you see that?
yeah, I seen that. Yeah,
That structure was amazing. No way in the world that could have been natural.
no, it wasn't natural. Something definitely built it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know the area close to where his area is over there where Matthew had his encounter, and there's a spot over there I've been wanting to go for years and do an investigation because we found several tracks and structures, but just had never had the opportunity to get over there. Something's always come up, but we'll have to plan one to go over there. It's over by Jerusalem. I don't know if you know where that's at or not, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know where's that. Was that where Matthew's encounter happened?
yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure where the area was exactly.
I don't know. I've only been really doing this. I mean, I read about it stuff for years before I had my experience and all that. I've only really been doing the whole going out and looking thing 5 or 6 years now. I don't know if I'm starting to already get jaded or not. I know some structures are structures, like you said, something built that ain't natural.
Right.
But then again, I stopped thinking, squirrels build nests, birds build nests, beavers build dams. Not everything people stick online is a Bigfoot structure.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Every time you find 2 sticks crossed in the woods, that don't mean Bigfoot did it.
That's it. Yeah.
It's the same thing. I hate to say it, but like I said, maybe I'm just getting jaded. I hope not. But a lot of the pictures and stuff people put online, it's just like, that's a bush.
Yeah.
I'm no expert or anything, but that's a freaking bush.
Squat stump. That's what most of them are.
Yeah.
Well, I know I had there was a lady contacted me. She said, there's been something standing out in the woods for 3 days now. I said, what do you mean standing for 3 days? She said, every time I look out there, it's in the same spot. I said, so you're telling me it hasn't moved an inch in 3 days? She said, yeah. I said, well, man, whatever it is ain't alive.
Yeah.
I said, I'll come over and check it out. She's like, oh, I didn't. You don't think there's nothing? I was like, what? Nothing living's going to stand in the same spot day in, day out for 72 hours.
No.
I don't know if she was looking at a tree stump, a bush, a shadow, what, but
Right. Yeah. And ain't nothing gonna be still for that long.
if it can, I hope it's willing to teach us because I'd love to be able to sit. I have trouble sitting still for an hour, let alone 3 days.
Uh huh.
I'm constantly fidgeting.
Window, you got some activity going on around you or something still?
Yeah. I thought I heard a locator car call, and about that same time, all the dogs started barking up here again. And now on the opposite side of the creek, you can hear something moving around on the opposite side of the creek over there. So
Am I gonna have to come rescue you, Wendell?
I hope not.
Now, if you got Lucille, I don't think I could help out any more than that.
No. It's got 14 rounds, so if it survives through that, it's time for me to go home anyway.
I wouldn't want to be shot with that gun. No way.
I don't want to be shot with any gun.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hudson shot me the other day.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me.
Shot me right in the shoulder. I was like, ow. It was a ricochet. That's what he said. It's a ricochet. And it was a ricochet, but it still got me in the shoulder. It hurt like the devil.
Yeah.
Didn't pull a Dick Cheney on you, did he?
Huh? No, he was actually shooting at a target. And the next thing I know, I was over sitting down in a chair, scoping out another target over there, and all of a sudden I was like, "Wow, oh man!" I'm like, "What are you doing? I didn't do it on purpose."
I'll never forget that. He shot his buddy duck hunting. I said, "What the hell? Did you mistake your buddy for a duck?"
Huh?
You said I was pointing it at you.
No, I thought you might have for a minute there.
You're like, what are you doing pointing at me?
Got another question that popped up here. What areas, it says, do you think Bigfoot inhabits? Would they be right in, like, close to towns, or just deep forest areas and like large unpopulated areas? I say they could be just about anywhere, depending on if they're moving through or what food source they have. I know Robert Swan there in Conway, around the town of Conway, has reports of them all around Conway there. That's broke into dumpsters and stuff. So I'd say just about anywhere could be a possible habitat for a Sasquatch. I don't know what y'all think.
All depends on the food source. Whatever the food source is, if it's a good food source, they're going to be there.
Yep.
I think it depends on food source, and they got to have some kind of cover for daytime purposes anyway. I mean, if you're 8 to 10 foot tall and 600 to 1,000 pounds, you're going to stick out in the middle of a field.
Yeah, they got to be like a creek way that. Whoa.
Uh-oh.
And I just had activity run right down the opposite side. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but it was big, but it would come from the opposite way from the creek here across the field. It blew. And it didn't sound like a deer blow. It was.
Yeah.
I heard that a couple of times walking out of the front door up there at the farmhouse in the middle of the night. It echoes to the woods. Did it echo?
Yeah.
I know that feeling. It's intimidating.
Make sure it's not a distraction.
Yeah.
That's what scares me about a lot of that stuff. I've
Get your
learned the
attention
last
on it.
couple of years that something is try to get you attention. You better be looking the other way.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. If the right hand's doing this, you better be watching what the left hand's doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, here a couple summers ago, I was like weed eating in I got a little grove of dogwood up there, and they were just shaking and carrying on. Well, I got to looking at that, and I shut my weed eater off and started just kind of backing away from it real slow. I was going to get back down towards the yard, and from the west side, a tree hit the ground right there where I was standing, and then there was a rock hit the tree right behind my head. So you know it's distraction. I mean, this stuff's not just by accident.
Well, I've read and listened to a bunch of reports, like you said. Well, there's multiple ones that say the witness is staring right at one, and you'll hear a knock or something off to the side. You turn your head and turn back, and the one you were staring straight at is gone. Mm-hmm. Like you said, a distraction gets your attention off of it long enough for it to get away. And there could be other reasons why they'd want to distract you too.
Huh. I don't know that, but that was within my comfort range. It was big enough you're boom, 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 as it after it screamed, tug off.
I thought they took you there for a minute. You kind of disappeared.
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, that was within, I'd say 75 yards. That's just too close for me.
It's too close for comfort.
Yeah. But especially it was in the.
I was going to say the speed
it was in the.
To move at.
Yeah. But, you know, I was paying attention off down by the creek side. This come up through the field side. And I mean, it was something big. And that scream, blow scream. I don't know. I never heard one make that sound before, but.
Well, like we've been talking all night, if you read and listen, they can make pretty much any sound they want to from what people say.
Yeah.
I know I was listening about Bigfoot and Beyond with Cliff and Bobo, and even Cliff Barkman was talking about that. He's a hardcore flesh and blood science. He don't like the woo. He's talking about, I keep hearing what sounds like a car door shutting 5 miles off the road up in the woods. There ain't no car doors out here.
Yeah, that's kind of way that metal sound. I remember the first time we was up at Area 2 and it sounded like a dryer door shutting or something back up by the road. That's kind of way this sounded.
Well,
down here on the creek.
If you look about 200 yards coming in off the highway, there's an old dryer that's been shot up there. Now I'm pretty sure that's what we were hearing.
Yeah.
It's right there off the side of the road.
Huh. Well, that's kind of the way this sounded, like something was bang, hit it down there by the creek, which is probably 300 yards down off the hill here. But this was on top of the hill right here by me. I don't know if I scared it or what, but it sure scared me.
He wasn't doing nothing too scared. I mean,
I don't know. It's crazy activity, though. Kind of got me looking around everywhere.
I can imagine, because I'm sitting in the house, inside the house, and Bo Stevens was laying back there in the living room, started growling all of a sudden, walk over. Trust me, I was looking over my shoulder.
Hmm.
Ain't nothing worse when a dog just starts growling for no reason. It's like,
Right.
what do you see, hear, or smell that I don't?
Mhm. Yeah, Colt went out on the deck last night. Need to go out, and he got out on the deck and he stopped and he's like, he was just staring at something out there in the woods, and I think, well, he don't act like he needs to go now. He came right back in. I was like, kind of unusual for him. He's getting to be a pretty good sized dog now.
Yeah. I
I'll
don't
take it
blame
back.
him.
There is one thing worse than a dog growling at something you can't see or hear. Babies. When they'll sit and stare or giggle and smile and you can't see nothing, that'll creep you out.
Mm-hmm.
Because my friend, right after his father died, he had an old recliner. And he had a baby who was about less than a year old. I mean, she'd sit there at her baby pen and look over at that recliner and just giggle and coo and grin and smile. And that's right after his father passed away. I was like, child, you got to stop that. She'd be sitting there doing that, and I'd get the willies all over me. I had to wonder if the old man wasn't sitting there in that chair playing with the baby.
Right.
Hudson's big sister. There used to be the old bed and breakfast down there across from the park, Wendell.
Yeah.
Used to have pretty good chow down there. Good restaurant, and she was always talking about the jazz man sitting down at the table and talking to her while they was eating dinner. And I got to looking around, and just found out that was like a vaudeville thing at one time, and was guys that played jazz and everything, but this guy went by Jazz Man. She said, that's Jazz Man. He sits there, talks to me. And man, it's freaky.
Wow.
That place definitely got some spirits in it for sure.
There was another instance. My dad's got a house he used to live in up in Williamstown. And they bring some of these children with the second or third wife would bring the grandkids over. And this one little girl was always asking them, she'd look towards the kitchen door and say, ain't anybody going to let that guy in? And they're like, who? She's like, that old black man standing outside. And don't nobody else see an elderly black man standing outside that kitchen door. I was like, I believe I'd have to shut the door.
Yeah, me too.
Still hearing something, Wendell?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a cow, but it's just keeps going on, and it's just one, and it's kind of like a chatter, like that. It's back down here on the creek side, or back over here, and it's still going on. That's weird.
You might not want to better stay down there till 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, that's only 10 minutes away anyway. Might be 10 minutes too long, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll work my way back up towards the car. I might sit in the car a little while and work my way on out of here. I'm getting a little warning anyway. We went over our hour mark, so y'all got any final comments? And if not, I'll sign off over here.
Okay.
You got anything you want to say, Neil?
As if you guys come across any thing we can use for this project, snatch it up. Cheap stuff.
All right. Sounds good. Anything, little toy that makes noise or anything like that, huh? Bright colors.
Something that we think we could use. I mean, whether it be audio or visual or something. Evidence is evidence. So,
All right.
I'll keep looking
All
for
right, Barry.
more places.
All
not
right.
really. God bless everybody. Pray for us. We'll pray for you.
Awesome. We'll do the same. Dale?
Well, I told one of my friends tonight that I'd let them know that I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. Good night, 20.
Awesome. Now the dog's back up at that house is just raising Cain. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's
Yeah.
down from where that.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, I got these headphones on. I can hear it good.
Huh.
I can hear it. It ain't real clear, but I can hear it.
It's weird. I don't know because below where that house was where that coyote sounding, but it just kept going on and on and on, and it kind of a chatter at the end of it.
Well, I heard that noise when you turned around a while ago. I could hear it through the headphones when you did that. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Like I said, that come from this opposite side. That was too close. But
Well, it's probably
all
not
right, I
related,
guess.
but way back when we first started, I heard
Yeah.
what sounded like a whippoorwill on your end. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Yeah, I had the whippoorwill that was here. Well, it's coming from that same below the creek area there. That's what I assumed was a whippoorwill, but
Well, that was me. I mean, it didn't sound like a whippoorwill. It was a whippoorwill call.
yeah, I heard that. Yeah, just sitting there. And then after that's when all that movement started down there on the creek side. I don't know.
Which
But
I
all
get
right,
kind of surprised that the
You're
phone
probably
would
a
pick up a whippoorwill, but
yeah.
Do
You're
what?
probably I said you're probably a pretty interesting thing to look at right now out there in the dark with lights on.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're probably sitting all around you watching you.
yeah.
I hate to
That's
say
kind
that,
of
but that's probably what's happening.
that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting here, you know. So anyway, like I said, I'm gonna sign off of here and work my way back up to the vehicle, and then I'll message you, Dale. If you don't get a message, then let somebody know something.
Okay, I will, man.
We'll start heading that way.
All right. All right. See everybody next month, and around the 23rd or somewhere there, we'll do our next podcast. And if you got any activity or something, get a hold of Neil or Dale here in this area. And if anybody's out there in Kentucky, get a hold of Barry here. Yeah, y'all. God bless everybody, and see you next month.
Okay, y'all have a great night.
See you
Night.
guys.
Talking to you.
God bless y'all.